Hello, everybody. This is Matt. Welcome back again here with Jordan. Say hi, Jordan.
Hello, everybody. Uh,
Jordan has been feeling under the weather, which is why we're a little late this week. I'll let Jordan talk about that if he wants to.
yeah, I got the flu, which, as a man, having a cold is like having the flu, and having the flu is like, should I start picking out plots?
Cemetery plots.
Yeah, like,
It's,
what's a good place to get a headstone?
he starts talking
Um,
about all the things he wish he accomplished in his life that he's not
yeah.
going to get
Oh,
to
I
do.
never got on the cyclone in Brooklyn, Coney Island. Never did it. If only I would have when I had the time.
And now that's it. Your window's
And
over.
now I got the flu, and I'm fighting to stay
Now he's got
alive.
the flu. Yeah, so we're back. We are back. But take into account, Jordan is going to sound like he has the flu today. But we didn't want to push it off any longer, so we are back. But with that being said, Jordan, what are we talking about today?
We are talking about I blame this movie for the reason why some men believe that women and men can't be friends because they quote this movie uh and they're like, well, that men and women cannot be friends.
Men and women of a certain age, because this movie is very old. Yeah. So, okay,
Yeah.
we are talking about, in case you haven't figured it out, or you haven't actually read the name of the episode, which I just realized is going to give it away.
we, we're like, you'll never guess
It's
what
going to give it away
episode
every
this
week.
is.
What are they talking about? Says the title. We are talking about the movie When Harry Met Sally from 1989. Another 1989 movie, which I swear we are not doing on purpose. Another movie also that had to compete with Batman and Indiana Jones and Last Crusade.
Though I
We
don't
really,
know whether or not the people going to the theater with money in their hands were like, oh, Batman or When Harry Met Sally. Like that,
what,
those weren't the same.
what is the Venn diagram overlap of
Yeah.
Batman? That's not
Me.
fair. I mean, we did an
I'm right
episode
in the
on
middle.
Batman. Yeah. You're right in
And
the
we
middle of
are
the Venn diagram.
and I did want to do and I realized how many there were, but with the sudden passing of Rob Reiner, I realized afterwards, we could have done Spinal Tap. They had a sequel I didn't even know. I should have watched that, but I wanted to do a Rob Reiner movie because, everyone I think of our age has a Rob Reiner, either a movie he's directed or has been in, where it's like, oh, this is just, I just love this movie. Like Princess Bride. Like, how many people
Yes.
don't
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
quote
Yeah.
The Princess Bride constantly?
A Few Good
Um,
Men was another
yeah, Few Good
very
Men.
different movie, but
Yes,
very good
yes.
movie. We do need to get away from 1988/89 at some point because again, not on purpose, but we are just living in that time frame. But another movie also, another 1988/89 movie, but another also movie in the National Film Registry in the Library of Congress. Again, not on purpose. We're not,
As it should be.
we are not trying to be
We're
artsy and just
snotty.
yeah, only preserved movies. Okay. Time now for a quick trivia question, Jordan. I see that you're drinking, so I'll give you a split second here. So,
Yeah.
this movie originated with the divorce of which person involved in the movie? Not it could be, but not necessarily an actor or whoever, but just somebody involved with the making of this movie. Which person was it originated from their divorce?
Was it Nora Ephron, the writer?
And
Oh.
survey says no. That was a Family Feud reference for those of you who don't know what I'm doing. No, it was actually based off of, well, originated from Rob Reiner's divorce from Penny Marshall.
Oh. Oh, Penny Marshall. Yes,
Yes,
another like prolific and storied director, actress.
that's right. We should probably get to it at some point. Yes, but you were close, right? He did write this. Did you know it was Nora Ephron? Did you have to look it up that he wrote it with her?
I knew it was no.
Okay,
This is a
okay.
movie like I feel like people get to a certain age they no longer care. Like there was probably a time in my life where I wouldn't
Please
admit
elaborate.
admit this. Well, okay. I feel like people get to a certain age and like, you know what? I'm in my 40s. I like romantic comedies. I don't care who knows about it. So yeah, I know stuff about this movie because I've watched this movie for years. I love it. I don't care who knows it.
Some
Um,
are like any genre or any type of movie though. Some are much better than others, right? I wouldn't say I just
well,
like all romantic comedies or all
yeah,
action movies or all science fiction. Some are garbage, some are
cor
good.
correct. But like, I'm not like there's some people who are like, oh, romantic comedies. I think at this point that's my idiot voice.
Well,
I do.
if
I've
it's
done it
made in
every episode.
Manhattan, if it was made in Manhattan, I would say that.
Yes. But like there was a run. This was Meg Ryan was like the rom-com queen for a bit. Throw on When Harry Met Sally, Sleepless in Seattle, not so much. You've got mail, but fine.
Yeah,
Joe versus the volcano, like that. Yeah, I'm down.
I would go so far as to say, and maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit here, right? But I think Die Hard is to action movies as When Harry Met Sally is somewhat to romantic comedy movies, right? Like
So
it's
Meg
sort of
Ryan
the
and Bruce Willis are the same, is what you're saying.
no, I'm saying yes, yes. I was gonna. There's a joke in there somewhere. I can't think of it, but no. But I mean, it's the a lot of the action movies that came. We talked about it, right? Hey, Die Hard on a plane, Die Hard on a bus, right? When Harry Met Sally is kind of I don't know. A lot of movies that came after, and especially Sleepers in Seattle and You've Got Mail. Granted, they were written by Nora Ephron, same writer, so that helps. But I think a lot of those movies tried to copy When Harry Met Sally, right? I
Yeah, I
think
mean, I don't know enough about the history of the genre
the deep cuts of the romantic
of the
genre
romantic
comedy.
comedy. We're talking about like bringing up Baby
Yeah,
with Cary Grant. I think that's Cary Grant. I mean, if we're going, because I think there's always that romantic comedies generally fit a mold. There
yes.
is a formula to it, and I think good ones are going to hand you that formula,
Well, they
but they're
never they have to
going
hate each
to
other at the start. That's
they
a
have
given.
to hate each other, but they're going to give you that formula, but they're going to make it their own, and they're going to it's like a hamburger is a hamburger. You can go to 57 restaurants and get a hamburger, and you know what's going to be in the hamburger, but the good ones are going to have a little bit something in it for you. Like this
Maybe it's a
movie, I think.
California burger. Maybe it's a pizza burger.
Yes. Oh, pizza burgers. Don't get me started. No, but um and I think that's where this one, and maybe it's the writing, it probably is the writing, it's probably is the directing, it's definitely the acting and everything else there. I mean, it's just that the dialogue, the set pieces, the setup, everything about it, I think is what makes it not just another
Romantic comedy.
burger.
Another burger,
I
no
kept
romantic
going.
comedy.
I
No,
kept
I like
going with
that.
that.
I will give bonus points for how many more times in this episode you can work burger in as some kind of metaphor for romantic comedy.
Damn it. Okay.
All right, getting back on track here a little bit. So yes, you are right. It was Rob Reiner, obviously. He did work on it with Nora Ephron, who did Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, and a bunch of other ones, but those are her probably the big three, right? So they worked on the script together. And you also touched on this too, right? The main question, and I don't think this is a shock to anybody, right? But the main question the movie poses is, or to the viewer, right, is can men and women ever just be friends? Which I'll throw this out there. I don't know if I want to touch that question on this podcast with a 10-foot pole, unless you
Well,
do.
well,
It's a very separate
I'll
podcast.
I'll say yes. They can, but what I'll say is this movie pretty much says no. Because if you think about it, and I'm not gonna say, I think we're done. We already said this is in 1989, so I'm not
Yes.
throwing out the spoiler word. Um, you know, every man and woman that gets brought up in this movie ends up, unless you want to say like Harry's friend is friends with Sally at some point just because
Right.
of their. But other than that, every man and woman that is paired up as just getting to know each other end up in a relationship. So
Yeah. You
I
know what?
guess
I also find interesting, not to stray here, but we always do. I didn't think I think about things when I'm focusing on we're doing for a podcast, right? I tend to focus on little details, right? I didn't really realize how few characters are actually in this movie.
yes, it's a very small cast, and I think that's I think just what makes it so there's really not a lot of folk. It's very tight. I
Yes,
guess is the
yes,
word I'm
yes,
looking
yes,
for. It's a
yes.
very tight. You have two main characters, two supporting characters, and then just a other bunch of cast of characters that show up, like Harry's ex-wife or so the random man that Sally's with at the time. But other than that, it's these four that you're really just. And I love also the friendships between the male friendships and the female friendships too that are portrayed in this. Sally going and talking with Princess Leia. I'm sorry, Marie,
Marie.
um, and and Harry with his friend. Just the
I,
the two of them just I like their friendship, going to baseball games. The fact that having or football games. They're at the Giants
Football
game, and
game.
they're having
We're
this
gonna talk. I want to talk about that. Not yet, but yes, I do
and
want
they're
to talk
having
about
this
that
like
scene.
really deep conversation, and then they just while they're still talking, they get up, do the wave, sit back down, continue the conversation.
Yes, I do
Um,
want to touch on that scene in more detail. So yes, quick summary of the movie for the people who haven't seen it, maybe, but or refresher for people who have seen it but don't remember, right? So movie starts, it takes place over about 10 years, right? So they meet in 1977 after they finish college. Harry is dating Sally's friend. They drive to Chicago. I'm sorry, they drive from Chicago to New York. And again, the whole basically premise of the movie is can men and women be friends, right? They say they can't be friends because the men want to sleep with the women. Sally disagrees, etc. Right? They end up in New York and they basically don't see each other at that point for another 5 years. They run into each other in 1982 and then in 1987, and then later on in the movie, right? It's 1989. So again, we'll touch up on different scenes that happen throughout the movie. But one thing I want to talk about here. Let's get into the discussion of the movie, right? One thing I put up a bunch of notes here on my screen, but can we just talk about right off the bat how everybody in this movie is supposed to be in their 20s at some point and then maybe later in their 30s, but everybody, at least to me, looks like they're 50 years old, or is that just me?
um, I it's funny to me that it reminds of like when you look at a picture of like a 25-year-old from like 1960, you're like, damn, they're 20, they look
Yes.
45, and then now they look like kids. Like it just I feel like every decade the certain age just the ages just look weird. Like I was gonna think I was thinking that too about the fact that I appreciated that CGI and all that other shit didn't exist
Yes.
back then because I would not have wanted to see a
Uh, D-
digitally de-aged
Billy
Billy
Crystal.
Crystal and Meg Ryan in the beginning of the movie. Like I know they did stuff to like make them appear
Yeah.
younger. He had no
Yeah,
facial hair,
hair,
and then eventually had a beard.
sideburns. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, everyone, they all look the age that they were.
Billy
Um,
Crystal. Oh, sorry, not Billy Crystal. I'm convinced that and I've seen a lot of movies with him, but I've never seen a movie with Bruno Kirby where he didn't look like he was 50.
you know what it is? It's
I can't think of one movie.
for some people, the mustache is just an instant age
Yeah.
like increaser. You wear that, you got that mustache on, and it's like, all right, you are 10 years older.
I think he came out of the womb looking 50 years old. But anyway, so
Or
I was curious. I
or
looked
with
it
a
up
mustache.
with the mustache. Yes.
With a mustache.
I looked it up, but you brought up a good point, right? It was probably the hair and the clothes, the combination of that, right? And, I don't think some yes, but some no. I don't think in general history has been very kind to 80s fashion. But I did look it up because I was curious. Do you want to guess how old Billy Crystal was when this movie came out?
Oh, it was 1989.
I wrote it down so I know. I'm curious what you think he was watching it
Um,
over again.
See, I'm gonna be surprised. I was gonna say something somewhere in his 30s, and he's because I know that he was in the show Soap, and that took place in the 70s, so he's probably in his 20s. So I'm gonna say he's somewhere in his 30s.
So he was 41 when this movie came out.
41.
Yes.
Good
So
God.
so that made sense, right? Because my first comment was, oh, they look like they're 50. Yes, I understand 40 is not 50, right? But it does make sense because they're supposed to be out of college in the first scene in 1977. He
He
was
looks
41.
good for 41.
He does, but he doesn't look 20 though.
No, but if you look at me, I mean, you can see me, but no one else can see me, thank goodness. But I do
That's
not
by
look,
design
I could not pass for
for a 21-year-old.
21 at
So
all.
Billy Crystal was 41 when they made this movie. Bruno Kirby was actually younger. He was 40.
Wow. A
Yes,
young
not by
buck.
much. Yeah, young buck of 40. And then in typical Hollywood fashion, Meg Ryan was 28.
I was gonna say 27. I wish
Yeah,
you would have given
28. And even Carrie Fisher was only 33.
yeah. All the
So
men are allowed to be older.
that's what I was going to say, right?
Predatory,
Wow.
patriarchal BS.
I said, clearly somebody said the men can be any age we want, but the women cannot be older. We can't have any
Yeah, I
old
don't know
women.
when that started. I mean, I know those making movies like that in the 50s. You had like a 6-year-old guy like smooching up with a 27-year-old. You're like, oh, they're gonna be together forever, or until he dies from heart disease.
Or some hereditary illness.
Yeah,
But
they'll
yeah,
have 5 years together. It'll be beautiful.
so they were 38, 39, 40, 13 years apart, which
Yeah.
whatever, it's fine. I just thought that was funny. And you kind of touched upon this jumping around a little more, right? You kind of touched upon this too, the dialogue. I didn't realize until again, I was really focusing on it, but Billy Crystal carries so much of the dialogue in this movie, more than her,
Yes.
I think. I think more than Meg Ryan, in my opinion.
I mean, it makes sense. I mean, he was,
Pages of dialogue.
yeah, but I mean, Billy Crystal, and I don't know too much because again, this movie came out. I was not, you know, it was in the 80s and 89, and I was not an old, I was like 7. So, but I feel like he was the bigger quantity at the time. He was the comedy guy. He could hold it. Also, I mean, again, we're talking about stuff like that. He was the lead. It's Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan. It wasn't Meg Ryan and Billy Crystal. Um,
Did
Probably
she
because he
play?
was a guy also.
Yeah. Yeah.
They like to do
Well,
that. But
I think he was also, to be fair, I think it was more that he's kind of the neurotic character, right? He's
41.
the,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, 40. No, but Sally is, I mean, Sally has her little, things that she does with the way she is and things like,
Idiosyncrasies and
yes.
the
But he is more of the quirky. He plays the quote, the typical quirky guy, right? The
uh,
character, not even male, female, the
yes.
quirky character.
As being neurotic myself, we do tend to sometimes talk too much. Like saying that the fact that he has too much lines and talking too much. That reminds me of when he's trying to call her over and over and over again, and she
Call
won't answer
me.
after they fight. And I
Pick
have the
up the
quote up here. It's
phone and just
you're either A,
call
not
me.
home, B, home, but you don't want to
Yes,
talk to me,
yes,
or
yes.
C, home, desperately want to talk to me, but trapped under something heavy. Like that's something
Yes, yes. That was a
that's
great.
you know you that's the way of the mind works of a neurotic
And I want to
gentleman.
clarify. I didn't mean to imply, hopefully I didn't. I didn't mean to imply that he has too much. I just meant that he just carries more of the script weight. That's all.
Yes, yes, no, I agree, and it's true. He definitely does carry the heavy load of this movie.
She spends much more of the movie reacting to him than he spends reacting to her, if that makes sense.
Yes, because all the characters are pretty much
She's much more the
it.
straight character than he is.
Yes, yes, and the point of view I think of the whole movie is a lot of it is from his point of view. It's
100%.
70-30. I mean, you can give some from her point of view, but a lot of her
That's
point of view
beef, isn't
is
that
seen
beef?
through
70-30. That's chop meat,
okay,
isn't it?
80-20.
80-20.
That is
Yeah.
80-20. It's
Yeah.
lean, but
That's a lean cut.
it's a lean cut. I mean, you can make it the
See, we're
burger
back to
with a lean
burgers. We're
cut,
back to burgers
but
again. We're back to
yeah, that
burgers.
well, you told me to.
You're
So,
welcome. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, thank you. You did set me up on that one. But yeah, I mean, a lot of it is her and everyone else's reactions to his um actions and what's going on with him. You don't really see her until he sees her, and then you
Correct,
follow
correct.
her for a little bit. But it's all set upon him seeing her. Because I mean, I think yeah, I mean, it pretty much is when Harry met Sally. It's not when Sally met Harry. So
There's some there's some patriarchal yeah thing in
maybe
there.
we should
Some
get maybe that's what we need. We need someone to make the movie when Sally met Harry and tell the whole story again from her
all
point of
kidding
view.
aside, I'm surprised that hasn't happened. When Sally, I can't even say it because my brain refuses to just think that way. When Sally met Harry,
Yeah, it's like here
directed
comes
by Paul
this neurotic
Feig, directed by Paul Feig.
yeah this neurotic 20-year-old. He looks 40. Comes sits down in my car. I'm driving him from Chicago to New
She's
York.
got to be 40 and he's got to be 20. It's got to
He
be,
won't stop talking.
yeah, yes,
He doesn't
please,
like the way I order food. And he
yes.
tells me he wants to sleep with me, but he's seeing my friend. What's going on here?
I would actually watch that movie. Can I talk about jumping around in scenes that I like? I love how it's the 80s, right? And they're all out to lunch, right? There's a scene where they're all out to lunch. It's Carrie Fisher, who plays Marie, out with Sally, and then another friend. I don't even think she has a name, right? Just a third friend, but they're out to lunch somewhere. I think it's Central Park. And Sally had just broken up with Joe, and Carrie Fisher, I'll call her Carrie Fisher. I don't want to keep saying Marie, right? Wants to get her Sally to date somebody, and she breaks out her Rolodex. She literally just bends down and pulls a physical Rolodex out. I mean,
Yes.
so I don't know what's funnier. It has a bunch of, sorry, it's a bunch, sorry, the Rolodex has names of guys that she wants to potentially set her up with. But I watched that scene. I thought to myself, I don't know what's actually, it's probably on purpose to be fair, but I don't know what is more funny in that scene. The fact that, hey, it's the 80s Rolodex, or that she carries this Rolodex around New York City with her.
Um, I'm, I think it's the fact. I think so. So I think back at the time, I think it's hilarious that she has a Rolodex of men that she's either been with or wanted to
Yeah.
set her up with.
Yes, yes.
It add the layer. the onions, the parfait didn't get built until now, where you're like, you really have an entire, because that's
Yeah,
like in the 90s, you'd be like, oh, you got your little black book you bring out, which I don't know if did anyone actually did that, is that real? Did people carry black books?
I was not old enough to
Well,
have a
neither was
black
I.
book. We had
So
cell phones at that point.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's the I guess the 80s equivalent of the little black book, taking out your Rolodex
The
and
Rolodex
thumbing
is
through.
funny because it's the 80s. Oh, look how old that is. The I think what was played on purpose was her carrying it around with her.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It was funny. It was funny in the fact that she carried it with her.
Yes.
It's funnier now because she carries it with her and it's a Rolodex.
Yes. She just says, "What about this guy? Oh, he's yeah." And she had her what word I want to use for her desire for married men, which is a whole other bit that I didn't think to write down. But I do want to jump to the you brought this up before. It wasn't the baseball
He's
game. It
never
was
going to leave him.
he's never gonna leave him. Of course he's not gonna leave us. Everybody knows he's not gonna leave his wife. The scene where they went to the Giants game, not the baseball game, the
That's
Giants
right.
game,
I caught
which was
myself.
yes, which was RIP the old Giant Stadium.
Yeah.
That scene was hilarious because he's telling Billy Crystal is telling Bruno Kirby, my wife, she's gonna leave me for this other guy, and he's obviously completely depressed, right? He's
Yes.
just a miserable human being. And he tells Bruno Kirby, there's one bit in that the whole scene is hilarious, right? But the best part is where he tells Bruno Kirby that his wife tells him, I don't think I've ever loved you, right?
Yeah.
And which is the worst possible line you'd ever want to
That.
hear from
Yeah. I.
your spouse. But right as he says that, they do the wave.
Yes.
That, yes, like he's like, I
It's.
don't think I've ever loved you. Stand up and do the wave. It's perfect.
Yeah. I think maybe this is probably a good gateway movie for people who say they don't like romantic comedies because I feel like and this is probably a credit. It's a credit. I well, not probably. It's a credit to both. It's a credit to the writing and it's a credit to the directing.
Yes, agreed.
And it's a credit to having a comedic actor like Billy Crystal being able to deliver those lines. Um, to have a scene where you're saying something that quite possibly, to your point, is the worst thing someone who you married could ever say to you.
Yes, yes.
You'd be like,
Not
"Can you just tell me that you've met someone else, not
yes.
that you maybe never have loved me?"
Every
And then
second we've ever been together, I've never
and
been
then a
loved.
beat, you're doing the wave, which is
And
the
it was
most
considering
obnoxious thing you could do at any sporting event.
considering it's the Giants, they probably lost too. So
Yeah, well, it
it
was
was idiots. It
89,
was
so that was
idiots. Yeah, I was like
yeah, no,
a
no, they
couple
were
years.
watching a coked out
Yeah.
Lawrence Taylor break Joe Theismann's leg potentially.
I would love to turn this into an 80s sports podcast. But yes, yeah, that scene is just perfect. And it's not even I mean, there's not really anything important in this movie to the plot, right? But it's just perfect. But I also found this funny, and I have to ask it. I want you to be honest here. Don't lie to me. When I saw this as a kid, I was probably like you, 8, 9, maybe 10 years old when I saw this movie. Again, not that it's inappropriate, but this is not really a kid movie,
Uh,
right? But
there's a
yeah,
particular
but
scene I could think of.
not that did you come on, 8 years old? What do they do? Oh, she's sick. But when I was a
Oh
kid, so
no,
anyway, I saw this movie, and when they did the cut scenes, right, with the older couples, and they're talking about how they
yes,
met, right? All throughout the movie, there's probably about 6 or 7 of them, right? I'm gonna sound like an idiot, but I was 8, maybe 9, right? I didn't realize until I was older. I saw, oh, these are actors. These are not real. Did you know? Be honest. When the first time you saw it as a kid, did you know
no,
these are
no. The
actors?
first time I saw it, I thought that those were actual
I did
couples
too.
that they
Yeah,
got
yeah,
for the movie
yes,
as like a little peppering it.
yes,
Um,
yes.
I mean, even that aside, it still is. It's there's just something. And again, with age, no longer care. I I just love that kind of stuff. Like
Yeah.
oh, look at the old, especially old people. Everyone loves old people in love. It's so sweet. Like, oh, how long have they been together? Look at them. They've been together so long.
Yes, although there's a whole Louis C.K. bit about the best case scenario when you get married. But so the story does go, right? So I don't know if you know this too. So Nora Ephron would interview people working on the movie, right? So people in I don't know, doing the boom mic or whoever, right? People in catering, whoever, right? When she gets wasn't inspired or just didn't feel like writing. So she would go around and ask them, hey, how did you meet your spouse? How did you meet your partner, right? So she took those interviews and I'm gonna say she based them, right? Because she didn't quote them, but she did use that as sort of the basis, right? She rewrote them a little bit, but she used basically those interviews, tweaked it a little bit, and basically filmed that using actors, which I don't know if you knew that. I found that interesting.
No, no, I did not know that.
I
That
thought
is very cool.
Yeah, I thought it was completely made up, but again, who knows, 80/20, right? I don't know how much she kept, how much was made up, but I think that was the kicking off point for those cut scenes, at least, if you will. And I did notice this, and maybe it's obvious, but I never thought about it before. I noticed this for the first time, at least personally, right? When I watched this again, I did watch it last week. This movie, and this is not a knock, I'm just saying it feels like somebody watched every Woody Allen movie up that came out up until 1989 and then tried to write their own kind of version of a Woody Allen movie. Because I don't know if you noticed this too. Meg Ryan at one point is kind of dressed up like Diane Keaton when they're walking in the park. She has the
Yeah,
hat
didn't
and the
notice that, but and I see. I kind of played that off as that was when I felt like, and I'm not going to pretend to be an expert on women's early '80s fashion,
shoulder
uh,
pads.
but I feel like a lot of that. I feel like a lot of people were grabbing the Diane Keaton style at that time. That was probably what it was a nod to. Or maybe
Probably.
it was just a nod specifically to the older movies of Woody Allen and with Diane Keaton. But I saw it as like that's what they were wearing back then. Like that's why they had feathered hair in one scene because that's
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, I think some of that was, I think you brought this up before, right? Some of that, the hair, facial hair, or the hair, right, was done to, hey, we need to show the passage of time
yes,
some
yeah,
way, right? We can't just have
yes.
them. Billy Crystal can't wear a hoodie for 10 years because then no, what is this 1977? Is
He
this
can't get
1982?
older than he already is.
Yeah, right. Although he did.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of a nod to Woody Allen. I think I've seen three Woody Allen movies in my life,
I
but
think I've seen one, and
uh,
not sure I'm interested so much.
why is that, Jordan?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, yeah,
Well,
I think there's a little bit of a nod there, right? I mean, Billy Crystal is kind of I said this too, right before, he's a little bit of the neurotic, right? The male neurotic character, right?
yeah, you know what?
Trying to
To your
get the
point, this
more,
movie could have been, if this movie was made in 10 to 15 years earlier, this would have been it could have been a Woody Allen, Diane Keaton movie. I could see both of those characters being in this role. That
it
could have been.
it owes at the minimum, I think it's fair to say it owes some of its DNA to Woody Allen movies that came
Yeah,
before it,
yeah.
right? That's and I think a lot of those people ran in similar circles too, right? Nora Ephron and Rob Reiner. I don't know if they're
But
like friends, but
neurotic, nebbishy men, however, is
yes,
something that runs in the same blood that runs through my veins.
yeah,
It's
the
just
Reiner
part of
family.
our DNA.
Yes, 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 yes.
We are
Fair enough.
known for that. So, there are probably similarities between myself and Billy Crystal, just for the sake of you know, of coming from one of the tribes of Israel.
I
So
want to see if can you write the romantic comedy? Try to write him not neurotic, and then we'll see.
I can't wait a minute. There are men who are not neurotic.
There are people who are not neurotic. I don't
I
know.
did
I
not
don't
know that was
not
possible.
not me, unfortunately. But another thing I want to talk about, and I'm sure you had this on your list, but we didn't talk about it this at a time. This movie, it's not a knock because I don't really care, but the movie suffers from the same issue that every movie or TV show has ever suffered from that has taken place in New York, is that not one person has a problem affording a nice apartment in New York City. Billy Crystal has this massive apartment, and I'm pretty sure I don't think it's similar. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same place they filmed Tom
Big.
Hanks's apartment in Big.
Yes, big. Yes, big. Yeah, when he's sitting there and he's throwing the deck of cards, I'm
Yes,
like, wait a
yes.
second, wait a second. Is shouldn't there be a bunk bed there? That
He's got a 3,000 square foot apartment in New
it
York
was
City.
it was the '80s, man.
And
Inflation hit hard in the '90s.
Jess
So
and Marie, who are Bruno Kirby and Carrie Fisher, Jess and
yeah,
Marie have a $5 million brownstone
and a beautiful Western wheel,
wagon wheel.
wagon wheels,
You
Western
said you
wagon
liked
wheel.
it. I was lying. I was being nice.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think this is something that uh, every single movie it's obnoxious to the point of like what do you do to get like there's none of them are obviously movie would be boring if they were working during it
I
because
want them to
obviously but
live in
how do they afford that?
a 500 square foot walk up.
Are they selling organs on the black market? Like what is going on?
I
Are
think he was
they
a political consultant, if I remember correctly. But
Yes, but
uh,
not enough to well maybe enough depending on what's going on but yeah they all have ridiculously expensive impossible to
I
obtain
mean, millions of
beautiful.
dollars, yes.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
and good for them.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to start beginning to wrap up here. We don't have to wrap up yet, but anything else you want to bring up before I start heading towards the wrap up here?
Yeah. Um, this movie for me, this is like around like there are movies that just hit certain seasons, right? Like around Halloween, I want to watch Rocky Horror. Around Christmas time, there are Christmas movies I want to watch, whatnot. But when the leaves start turning, my mind goes, you know what I want to watch? I want to watch this movie because it starts. I know it takes place over a number of years,
Yes, 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 yes.
but it is the quintessential like September to December movie in my opinion because it starts in well actually does it start in the fall? It must start at the end of this. I mean, it starts at the beginning of the semester, right? Like they're driving from
I think after they graduate, I think school's
yeah. So
over,
okay, so
right?
maybe it starts
So
in May, but even though if it starts in May, but it seems like the entirety of the movie takes place within the last 4 months of
yes,
the
yes,
year
yes,
with the
yes. It's
obviously with the movie ending on New Year's Eve. So for me, it's like one of those movies where it's like I could watch it in September, October, November, December. It hits any one of those months, and I feel like the need to watch it once the leaves start turning colors.
I
Um,
agree. I mean, I think of it more of as a New Year's Eve movie, but I guess it all works, right?
yeah,
It's all kind of the same thing. I do want to talk about, and it's probably a lot of people's, right? But my favorite scene in the whole movie, and I think, again, saying the obvious here, I think the scene that makes the movie is the ending, right? Where when Harry goes to Sally at the New Year's Eve party, right? Again, I think the scene makes the movie, and in my opinion, it's the emotional payoff, right? For everything that comes before it, right? This is the payoff, right? It's like blowing up the Death Star, right? Dropping Hans Gruber off the
yes,
side of the building. This is the emotional payoff,
yes.
right? But you might know this, maybe you didn't, but the original ending, they weren't supposed to end up together. Did you know that?
I only learned that after Rob Reiner's passing because I they were like talking about his
Yeah,
films and everything else, and they mentioned the fact that because he met his wife
correct.
in while making this movie, they changed the ending to have the happy ending, and I am
Yes,
very glad that they did so
I agree.
because honestly, without knowing that you were going to say that, that is also everyone when you go, oh, what's your favorite quote? Everyone goes, oh, it's I'll have what she's having.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Which I
that's not
refuse
my
to use.
favorite
Yeah,
quote.
yes.
My favorite quote is that final, that final scene,
When you
where
realize you want
he's
to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you
yes,
want the rest of your
yes,
life
and
to
she's all
start as soon as possible, right?
yeah, and she's like, "Well, you always make it impossible to hate you." Yeah,
Yes,
that whole
yes.
little moment, that's just like, oh yes,
And I'll be honest, again, it's easy to say with hindsight, right? But I genuinely think if the movie didn't end, if they didn't change the ending and make them get together, we might not even be talking about that movie. We might even know what the hell this movie even existed, right? But like, oh, that movie's depressing.
yeah, audiences like a happy ending. I mean, this isn't some foreign film where you're
It's not
okay with like
it's French cinema.
nihilistic ending of like everything. We all die alone. We come into this world alone and we die
Finn,
alone.
Finn.
And yeah, no, we want a happy ending.
Yes,
Um,
yes, to the movie, you mean?
yeah, to the movie.
Sorry, yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
just
for
to
the
be
love of
clear.
God,
Yeah.
everyone, to my parents listening to the movie.
Yes,
Um,
the happy ending to
yeah,
the movie.
yeah. A
Uh,
New Hope wouldn't hit as hard if Luke misses the shot, and he then Darth Vader blows him up, and they're like, "Well, that idiot turned off his tracking system. So what do you
I,
to expect?"
yeah, I don't think the movie would be as popular without the ending. But I do want to go. Let's talk about. We did mention you brought up kind of the famous lines, right? The obvious favorite line. Well, sorry, the popular line would be the "I'll have what she's
Is
dying," but I'm not
oh
going to
no,
pick
I thought
that.
it was, but I would be proud to partake of your pecan pie.
I can. But wait, so is that? I'll let you go first. Then is that your favorite line?
No, 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 no.
All right, you go first.
My favorite line. No, we already talked. My favorite line, quite literally,
Oh,
is
sorry. Yes, I'm
that
sorry.
final.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that
Sorry.
was my favorite.
I thought you were
This
going to
is
say it's
one of
your
my
favorite
other
scene.
ones.
So it's your favorite scene slash fit with your favorite line.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
mean,
Okay.
wi- if I'm going to quote it, I do sometimes in my head go when we talk about pecan pie, my brain goes
Pecan
pecan pie,
pie.
like that goes that place. So maybe that's the one that
There
stuck
is
with
too
me
much pepper on
in
my
my paprika.
paprikash.
Yes,
Paprikash.
and she's trying to no
Pepper, pepper.
pepper.
Please,
Yes,
please do repeat, do
yes,
respond, not to answer. Um, I like. I forgot about this scene. It's in the beginning too, where Sally's talking about basically Harry asks her like, "Oh, you never had sex with anybody, good sex before, right?" And she says, "Yes, I have." He said, "Who?" And she says, "Oh, with Shell." And he
yeah.
says,
No, no
"Shell,
one is no.
Sheldon?" He's like, no, you didn't. You did not have great sex with Sheldon. A Sheldon can do your income taxes. If you need a root canal, Sheldon's your man. But humping and pumping is not Sheldon's strong suit. I don't know why. He's like, no, you did not have great sex with Sheldon. Uh,
Oh,
or, or the other bit where they're playing Pictionary. Do you remember they're playing Pictionary? And Bruno
yes,
Kirby is trying to, he's like monkey baby or ape baby ape or something like
yes.
that. But then he says, please draw something resembling anything. It's not even, it's a throwaway line, but a
And I
classic.
like to, I want to think that those are like
Improvised?
improvised. I know that probably not. A lot of the lines that people are like, oh, that had to be improvised. Like, no, that was in the script. It's just all in delivery. But like, it's yeah. Those are just I don't know.
Classic lines.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna wrap up here because we'll talk about this way too long. One quick last trivia question. Do you know Harry Connick Jr.? Did you realize? Well, actually, that's a statement at this point. This was the first soundtrack that Harry Connick Jr. ever did. Did you know that?
No. I mean, while I enjoyed the musical stylings of Harry Connick Jr. from time to time, and his foray into acting as well,
Yeah, yeah,
I didn't know
yeah.
this was his first.
This was his
Uh,
first. Yeah, they
Dipped
had. I mean,
into
he had done music obviously before that, but
it
this was the
had
first.
to be you.
Yes, classic standards. Okay, we'll wrap up here. Jordan, was there
Could
anything
Harry
else?
Connick Jr. sue Michael Bublé for pretty much taking his career? Because why are we? Why is that's pretty much what happened there?
He
And
probably
Harry
sold to
Connick knows
him
how to do the piano.
the way older people own a pizzeria for 25 years. They don't want to be
Oh,
bothered, but they just sell the name. They're just like, you can take over as my.
so why didn't Michael Bublé keep Harry Connick? It's like, oh, I'm not
That would
Ray.
be
Ray was
weird.
the other guy. I'm Sal. Ray was the
Mike,
original owner from the 50s.
this is Michael Bublé Jr. I don't know.
Harry
Yeah.
Connick Jr. Jr.
All right, we got about a minute here, a minute and a half. Anything you wanted to bring up here before we wrap up, Jordan?
Um, I'm just proud of myself to having survived. Um,
The flu
I'm
episode.
gonna
We'll call it. This is like the flu game for Michael Jordan. This will be the flu episode.
the flu episode. Well, that depends on whether or not people like this particular podcast
Yeah,
afterwards.
the flu
Like, do you
episode.
realize he record? Yeah, Michael Jordan scored 60 points with the flu, but
Yeah.
this guy Jordan did a 40-minute talk about when Harry met Sally with the flu,
It, it was
sitting
legendary.
down.
In podcast circles, that was known as the flu podcast episode, the flu episode.
The flu pod of 2025.
Oh my
Um,
God. Yeah. Did you do degenerate gambling in between at
I
halftime
I
too?
I did
Like Michael Jordan?
I did try my hand in baseball. I think I got the same number of home runs, so we're pretty evenly matched there.
Oh my God. All right. On that note, we're going to wrap this up. So we do want to quickly say thank you to everybody for listening on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. Again, if you're listening and you like us, please follow. If you haven't already, please subscribe. Yeah, keep listening and happy holidays,
Yeah,
everybody. Anything you
happy
want to say, Joe,
holidays.
before we wrap up?
Um, no, no, thank you everyone for listening. It's great that people are enjoying what we're doing, and we hope that you continue to do so.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks, Jordan. Feel better and happy
Thanks.
holidays, everybody. We'll talk to
Happy
you soon.
holidays. Bye.
Bye-bye.